Why do Tesla round cigarette lighter outlets in parentheses deliver 15.5 volts, which will likely damage many 12-volt devices such as tire inflators?
So for those who don't know what he means by the cigarette lighter, we do.
Yes,
If
we do.
yeah, but you probably need to be at least in, like, your 30s or 40s to know what that is.
Yep.
This is the round power port that you can plug an accessory into. Typically, people use this to plug an inverter into so that you can use a a you can charge your laptop with it. It's a normal plug receptacle for, 110 volts here in America. But, that's what this port is. So here's the good news. Most 12-volt devices are not limited to 12 volts. And even in an ICE vehicle, when you start the car and the alternator spinning, they're usually at 13.5 to 14 volts. So they're not staying at 12 volts. The alternator is actually running everything in the car, not the battery. And so the battery starts the car, and then the alternator recharges the battery from starting the car and then runs everything in the car while you drive. And so it's already made for a higher voltage. All of those accessories are. But you do want to be sure, because Tesla, starting in, I believe it was 2021, it was. So the Model S in June of 2021 had the very first 16-volt battery instead of a 12-volt battery. So if you have a 2020 or older Tesla, your accessory outlet is 12 volts. If you have a June 2021 Model S or newer, then it's 16-volt lithium-ion low voltage battery. And Model 3, Model X, Model Y happened in 2022. So if you've got a 2022 or newer vehicle, you have the 16-volt battery. Where this really comes into play, Rod, is for inverters, those things that plug your charge your laptop. And those can be finicky. They can I have one specifically that works in every Tesla, but when I got into a Tesla and used it the with one that had the 16-volt lithium-ion battery, the blue light that normally turns on to say, "Hey, we've got power, we're good to go," it's red immediately. I plug it in and it goes blue red, just immediately, and it does not work. And that is because it cannot accept 16 volts. So just look up before you buy, know before you buy that it will accept a 16-volt current.
This is a related question from Joel Gentleman. He says, does that outlet have a fuse? Does a Tesla have any classic 12-volt type fuses? It appears to be a software controlled circuit breaker, but I do not know. And then Andre posted a picture, said, yes, might depend on the model, but usually a 15 amp fuse of the small kind. And there's a picture of the fuse box. So that was kind of interesting because I guess theoretically you should blow a fuse before you did any type of damage, I'm assuming.
Right. So yeah, it's not about how much power you're taking from the car. It's being sure the original post is about, will the device you're plugging in fry if it gets 16 volts instead of 12 that it's expecting? But to your point, Rod, this is a good point, that if you are plugging something into that that's drawing more amperage than what it's intended, uh, some models do have a fuse panel, but a lot of these are just dynamically managed. And so it will blow a fuse, it'll stop working, but it's software managed. And so there is no physical fuse in a lot of the Teslas. I don't know which models have physical fuses or run it with software, but if that happens and it stops working and you don't have a physical fuse, it's typically 5 minutes or so, or you can restart the car and it'll work. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that can be frustrating when somebody blows a fuse and there is no fuse. What do I do? Well, I'll
Yeah.
just give it 5 minutes and it'll automatically reset.
Okay. Very good. All right. Well, let's move on to another common question we get. Very vague, but always fun to dive into a little bit because things are always changing. How much does your Tesla cost you on your electric bill per month?
Yeah, this is a really big it depends.
Loaded
It
question. Yes.
Yeah, if you're out west, you're in California, I was looking at this the other day, and, uh, it it's not uncommon, like PG&E is Pacific Gas and Electricity. they're like 35, 40, that can be upwards of 40 cents, 45 cents per kilowatt hour, which is hugely different than what I pay here. For instance, I am with, EMC, Electric Membership Corporation, and I pay 11 cents per kilowatt hour between 11 PM and 7 AM or 6 AM, and I pay 13 cents per kilowatt hour, from 7 AM until or from 6 AM until 11 PM. So, that it's negligible. There's a difference, that 2 cents. People would say, "Oh, man, that's 20%." But it just feels like 2 cents, you know? It doesn't feel like a lot. But, it really depends upon your area and your power company. Now, Rick Dystra has a great comment here, and he breaks down specifically what his Tesla has used and compares it to what his previous vehicle, a 2024 Honda CR-V, was using and what it cost in gas. So Rick says that his Tesla used 447 kilowatt hours. And so I don't know exactly how many miles he's driving, actually, he says it, 1,908 miles. And so he used 447 kilowatt hours for 1,908 miles at 14 cents per kilowatt hour. That cost him $62.58. His Tesla replaced that 2024 Honda CR-V where he averaged 35 miles per gallon. By the way, that's incredible. My daughter had a CR-V and did not get 35 miles per gallon. So that's I feel like that's pretty good. But average fuel cost where he is, which is in Florida, is $2.88 per gallon. So if you do that same 1,908 miles divided by 35 gallons, it's 54.5 gallons times $2.88. It was $157 in gas compared to his $62.58 in charging the car. So, that's a really good breakdown to help understand how much it cost, but you're gonna see answers all over the board. But I think that in most cases, per kilowatt hour charge is less than 20 cents for most of America geographically. In the bigger cities and out west, you're gonna pay more than that. But
Yeah,
gas is also more out there.
yeah. Speaking of out west, here's a really specific comment from Alexander Bernard. In October, our Model Y long range charged at $242. I charged at home between 12 a.m. and 3 p.m. at 33 cents per kilowatt hour. We charge daily, overnight, maybe 6 to 7 days a week, located in the San Francisco Bay Area. So, and then there's a lot of comments from his comment basically saying, California and Hawaii are probably going to be your highest rates in the country.
Yeah, Georgia Power is petitioning its board, for it's all regulated. So it's petitioning its board to invest hundreds of millions of dollars in infrastructure for incoming data centers. So sometimes the electricity is not even, location based. It's just based on what could happen in the future. If there's going to be data centers coming out there, which those typically come into very rural areas. So I think we will see an impact in not just the cities, not just out west. I think we could see power cost increase at least some because of the data centers and other things that are going to happen in the future. But I have EMC. I mentioned I had a house where we lived about 5 miles from here, Georgia Power. It was more expensive per kilowatt hour 5 miles from here through Georgia Power versus EMC, which is less expensive. So there's different things that impact that rate.